So thank you everybody for tuning in to our optional live Q&A for February 13th. Tonight we're going to cover assignment 3. And I have tried, I did have a chance to fully review assignment 3 before I sent it out, and I'm currently doing the same with assignment 4. And as we move forward with assignment 3, you will have, we will go forward and look at assignment 3, and you will see that everything you need for assignment 3 has already been put together in Blackboard. Elijah's asked a question regarding the academic articles. If going back to the assignment, just remember you create a thread for each article. So what you'll need to do is label it, label article thread, and then say the article name, and then put your name by it, like in parentheses. But I would probably create the thread and say, and do that. Missing data for assignment 3. I will explain that here in a second. And yes, when should we expect our grades since we didn't get them today? You should expect your grades tonight. And I do apologize for that. I had something come up that prevented me from getting them out last night and this morning as I planned, but the grades are there. I'm sorry, creating a form. I'm sorry, I'll tell you what, let me look at Blackboard real quick. Let's deal with this discussion with the article threads. I'm just going to pull up, if you'll give me just a second, I want to look at something real quick. I'm going to go to the discussion board. I was trying to remember if I had done it, and I have not. So I'm going to create a form called article assignment threads. We are, it's now set up. So let me go over to sharing, and I'm going to share the screen with you. So you'll see my screen here in just a second. Okay. And let's go over to I did create a form. And so there is a form now in your discussion board called article assignment threads. And this is where you'll post your threads for the article. Of course, you need to post 2 threads, one for an academic article and one for a professionally written article regarding economic development. And when you do it, I want you to put your name in parentheses. And I need, I guess, your first and last name, because some of you do have the same last name, and then the article title. So that's what the thread title needs to be. So you would post threads here in this thing, in this form that I've set up now on the discussion board. So that we got that now. And again, your grades will be emailed to you tonight. With respect to assignment 3, let's look that up real quick. And you will see that this is involving an income and earnings profile. And the question was brought up about the data. And really this has to do with 2 tables and some differences in data that occurred between 1999 and 2000. Prior to, from the beginning until about 1999, the government used a determination grouping of, kind of had a different way in which they coded for sectors of the economy. And it was called the SIC. And starting in 2000, they switched over to the NAICS codes. So what it was that all the data from when they started collecting data up until 1999 is in table CA05, and all the data from 2000 and beyond is CA05N. And in most cases, at the large sectors of the economy, the codings are the same. So you can kind of look at it and you can kind of figure out pretty quickly how to link one code to how to link one grouping to another, because the text information is there. So like you can see, professional and business services kind of link up. When you start drilling down a little below that is when the codes start to get a little more complicated and you start seeing differentiation. But we're not asking you to go too deep into this. I'm going to show you kind of how to look at these numbers and how to put together your groupings. So let's go now to actually those 2 sets of codes. You also have CA25, which also has some information about personal income, but let's look at CA05 and CA05N. So still sharing. So I'm going to bring up CA05. And as you can see, CA05 stopped in 2000. And for most localities at the county level, it actually was started in 1969. The easiest way for those of you who work a lot in Excel, you know that you can look at data by sorting and by filtering. We're going to use a filter so that I can first of all take geo name, and these are US codes, by the way. This is all US, and there are state codes, but you have national information. So you have the US codes there. Let's go to North Carolina. I'm going to filter, because now what I can do here is I can actually filter by geographic name. So I'm going to open it up a little bit. You can see that the first set of data is by state total, and so you have the statewide totals which you need, but then you want your particular county. So to of course get that, all you got to do is just go back up and filter for, like, say, picking your county, and I'm going to pick Buncombe because I don't think anybody had Buncombe on there. And you would click OK, and then it would just automatically filter Buncombe. And you can see here, and let me zoom in a little bit because the resolution may not be as good because of the fact I'm doing this from home. But you will find that you have your line code and you have your industry code. The line codes are referenced in the assignment. So those are items that you need to pull from. But then you've got your respective industries, and you can kind of see that these are the industry codes and the industry classification. And that was changed with the when they converted over from SIC to NAICS. They converted the industry codes. Now, when we look at it in aggregate, all that's together, so there are no industry codes, but there are some, and you can kind of see how they kind of put them in ranges. And you could conceivably look at, by industry, and you can kind of tell what codes you've got. And you see that you have a whole bunch when you look at it, when you're looking at it in the filter field. But, based on the depth of the assignment, you can get down pretty deep. You can look at the impact of the motion picture industry. These are all, most of these are services. This is Group I, which is tied to the service sector. And a lot of this goes into a combination between hospitality and others. But that all changed in 2000. And so from 2000, 2001 onward, they went to this NAICS code where they did some regroupings, but that's 25. That's CA25. And I thought CA, he must have got a 25N too. So I must not have provided you guys with 25N. I did not see a 25N originally. So that means I need to go pull 25N tonight as soon as this is over and make sure you all have 25N as well. And that's something that I will do pretty quickly. Thank you. Please mute your line when you get on. So I will make sure 25N. I thought I had everything and I did not, and I apologize for that. So in each file, in each spreadsheet for each table group, you've got the state of North Carolina tab and you've got the national. So you have national data as well as the state of North Carolina. So you should be able in the North Carolina tab to find the statewide data as well as the data for your respective county. And then in the U.S., you have the nationwide data to pull from. And again, you can see you're not going to have to gather too much data, but it's going to be about copying and pasting it so that you can do comparative analysis for the time period, which is from 1990 until 2015. So what I will do, let me show you first of all where this data is kept. In case you're wondering where I found this, is actually pretty easy to find because it goes back to Bureau of Economic Analysis website, which I showed you pretty recently. And we're going to go to, and it's actually, I believe, I just go to GDP. I want to look for, I'm going to pull up, I always have a little bit of challenge here finding the data sets, but I end up finding them I eventually get to them. It's just, it takes a little bit of time. You want to find the interactive tables NIPA, what they call the NIPA. I'm going to look at I want regional data because I'm going to do it by state. Begin using
Mr. Hunter.
Yes.
We're not able to see your screen because it keeps going in and out because of the signal.
Okay, I'm not having any problems here.
Everybody's on the chat. Nobody in the class can see it.
Okay, I'm sorry. We ain't able to see. Okay, let me do this again. Let me just check one thing real quick. Okay. Okay, it's loading. Okay, are you able to see it now? Are you able to see it now? Okay, no. Yes, no.
Yeah, we can see it. I think the signal's bad though because it keeps going in and out. Like you can see it for a minute and then it like breaks up really bad and then comes back.
Okay, I'm hard in, and the signal that I'm having, I'm in. Okay, let me bring it over. I'm going to bring it over. It's beginning to look like I'm just going to have to record this. I'm not at the office doing this, so there may be an issue here. I've done this before from the office, and there wasn't any problem, but away from the office. But are you all able to see a BEA website, the Bureau of Economic Analysis website now? Anybody see it? Okay, somebody says they can see it. It is being recorded. So what I will tell you is I am going to go through this really quickly. Sorry, I know you all have seen other stuff. It is being recorded. So I'm probably going to cut some of this out of it. But so we are at the Bureau of Economic Analysis website, and we are in regional data. And I believe we were looking at income data. So this is, we have, trying to remember, going back to the table. I'm going to do it a little differently here. Okay. Yeah, iTable, that's the one that I want, which is there. Okay, good. And we're going to go to get a table to display. We'll go to that. Okay, this is what I wanted, the download section. You see here we have different options. You have local area personal income accounts. And what I need is CA25N. I got CA25. I need CA25N. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to download. And it's actually a zip file. And there's a separate file for the U.S. and there's a separate file for North Carolina. There's actually a separate spreadsheet for every state in the country, so they can provide that county level data. So from that, I will take the data for North Carolina and the U.S. and I will create a CA25N table that you will have, and you will have that here in a few minutes. I'm going to end this. I'm probably going to end this in just a few minutes. What I would like to go ahead and do is answer any questions anybody is having. You can type them in chat. It's probably the easiest way for me to review it. I'm going to stop the screen share and any questions you may have. What time span do you want? We want time span. The time span should be for this 1990 to 2015, as it says in the assignment. I know that there was some confusion with the first assignment. That was a mistake on my part. Everybody did 1990 through 2015 in the last assignment. A couple of you did 1970 all the way back to 1970 as well. So it's 1990 to 2015. So I'm honestly just confused. Okay, you will use both tables, all the tables. What I see here, the CA25N data will have the data from 2000 to 2015, correct? Yes. The CA05 and CA25 tables have data for 1990 to 2000, and CA05N and CA25N have data for 2001, 2015. Again, this is one of the challenges sometimes we have with data. The government decides to change, how data is collected. They changed the categorizing system, and they did so in a way that we have to find ways to merge the data together over time. They did not go back and reinterpret the data in the past. That was something they did not do. So you have to pull the data together. How are we supposed to use the inflation spreadsheet? So there was another piece of information that's in there. That is, if I remember, and I'm looking real quickly, that was the price deflator spreadsheet, and I'm looking at that real quick. What you will do is that table 1.1.9. What you will do is you will re-index it to 100, and you just want to take that implicit price deflator. That deflator is applicable to every line. So what I would do is just start off with line 1. Just use line 1 total, which is for gross domestic product. That's the price that's the implicit price deflator. So what you would do, like you did with the population indexing, is that that number will be 66.77. You will reindex it as 100, and then you will adjust accordingly in similar way that you did with the population when you did the population. Kind of use the same formula you use for the population index, except you're going to use it in this case and do it year to year. When you've done that, after you've done that, then what you do is okay, let me think of a way to explain it, because I don't have the screen to show you because of this issue with the internet. So when you've adjusted for inflation, you're going to calculate it from 1990 to 2015 off of line 1 from that data price deflator table. So you're going to calculate an index with 100 being 1990 going all the way out to 2015. What you will then do is you can take that 100, divide it by 100, and then you've got a value of 1 to 1 point whatever. What you then do is that you take the data for your jurisdiction and you basically divide it based off of that inflator, off of that deflator. So off of what that index is. So for example, let's say that your salary 1 year at an index of 100 is $500. It's $510 next year as reported in the table showing income, but the deflator is 102. So what you're going to do is divide that new number, 505, you're going to divide it by 1.02, and that's going to give you the adjusted number for inflation. I will, once this is over, I will do an exercise where I will show you how you can do that. So I will do it in an exercise so that you can see how to do it. You should be able to find the instructions for it online. There's a couple of different sources out there, but I will run through a demonstration online and I will post it to YouTube tonight that will show you that information. I would show it to you right now, but we are having some issues with that, and I can understand that. It's something that it was not explained directly in the example, but it uses the same principles of mathematics that you would use in yes, you use line 1 GDP to index, and that's what you would do. So I will set that up as soon as we get done with this call, with this Q&A session. I will set that up. With respect to the reading assignment for this week on location quotients, getting ready for next week's assignment, getting ready for the next assignment, that is something that I have to. I do have the article. I do have some information on it, but I have to upload it. So that should be available on Wednesday. That there will be an article that'll help explain location quotients. That will be available on Wednesday, and that will be available in time as you're getting ready to prepare for the final assignments, as well as for the task for the midterm. I know there's a lot of lecturing and a lot of chapter reviews that I need to do. I will provide full chapter reviews, and I need to get those updated, but I think everybody's doing well. I will next week on Monday provide a list of everything of the topics in the chapters that are going to be on the midterm, and the topics that you need to know about that could be on the midterm, so that you are aware of what we're going to cover. And then that way you have it at least a week ahead of when the midterm is going to be distributed. The midterm, as I said before, will be distributed on the 28th. It'll be distributed 28th, the evening of the 28th, and then you will have until 11:59 p.m. Friday, March 3rd to complete it. And then the midterm grades will be back ready for you when you get back from spring break, if that works for everybody. So this, of course, you're halfway through with your work on preparing this regional profile for your county. You have 2 assignments left, the one that you're working on this weekend, the income and earnings profile, and then the employment profile, in terms of preparing this first half of the work, which will then lead into your assignment for the second half after the midterm. Let me take a quick look at the text. Are there any other questions that people have with respect to assignment 3? I will do a quick short on, there's 2 things that I know I need to do on the data, and I apologize for that, but you will have that data this evening. And again, you have until, we did update the deadline, so you have until this Thursday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern to finish the assignment 3. You will have until 11:59 p.m. next Thursday to finish assignment 4, which I hope to have assignment 4 up tomorrow once I'm finished doing some work to it. This is it is a little tougher grading. I'm grading 26 papers, so it does take a little bit of time, and I do apologize. This class is a little larger, I think, than anticipated, but doing my best to try to keep up with it, and I hope everybody is getting something constructive out of it. Again, to remind you, when you're using Blackboard in the discussion board, there is now a form for the article assignment thread. So when you have read one of your articles, you need to set up a thread to discuss it in that forum. Put your name in a parentheses and then attach the article title to title the thread so that we can go from there. And then, of course, write up your summation per the assignment requirements. Finding the line 35 data on the CA25 sheet. Okay, that was in the assignment. Line 35 is from CA05. Line 10 is from CA20. This is a case where it's pulling. That's what I had thought. If you look at, this is where I was confused. I should have looked at the assignment. If you read the assignment, when you're looking at the earnings profile, place of look level 1. Let me see if I can share this real quick. Good question. I don't know what I'm going to do at this point on whether I'm going to record this or whether I'm going to share this or not. But we'll find out. Let me go over to the assignment, and hopefully people can see this. You will see first item, total earnings by year, counting earnings as percent of state. And it says line 35 from table CA05 and CA05N, earnings by place of work. It is then referenced here again, and it should be that it's the same line. So you're actually pulling line 35 from table CA05N and then dividing it into line 10 from CA25. And again, this is another example of having to pull a lot of data, because the CA25 tables are about employment numbers. Those are employment numbers. CA05 is dealing with wages. So you're having to pull data from one table and working it to another. That's one of the real issues with respect to this class. One of the challenges that you have in this course is learning how to pull data from different tables. I've created the file, the CA25N file, and I am going to quickly upload it into the into the assignment 3 folder. I'll go back to, there was a question about CA05 and line 35. Look at line code 35, not industry 35. It's line code 35. It is for the county. Let's try to show it to you one more time. I'm going to bring up CA05. And if you look, you have, and it's a little hard to see, but column E, as someone pointed out, you have line code. You have your line code as column E, and it gives a line. Now, understand these data, everything is put together in a database, and these databases are, of course, linked tables, and they use line codes as a reference so that they can pull data in a data sheet, in a database from multiple counties using the same reference point or a line code. That is the key to look at. So when it says line, what you're really referring to is the code established in column E. If that makes sense to everybody. So we have updated and added table CA25N to the assignment folder. And we have done a few little things. And remember, the deadline for your assignment 3 is 11:59 p.m. Eastern this Thursday, February 16th. Still haven't seen any of your presentations. Well, they are on YouTube, but I have not updated some of them, so I need to make them available. But the YouTube channel has been listed in the announcements, but I will post it again, and you can find it there. But all of our presentation, all the video presentations that I've done, including copies of these, are available on YouTube. No, nothing's been posted since 2A, so only 3 lectures so far, correct. And I apologize. I wish I could come to Greenville, but I can't tomorrow. Being in Rocky Mount and being an hour away is a challenge. I will do my best to try to I will try to be there. I'll see if there's a time next week that I will, with it being the week before the exam, I will find a time that I can try to be there, but it'll be an afternoon, but it won't be anything adding the sessions to Blackboard. I could, but the problem is that they don't work very well with Blackboard. There are some challenges. If you don't have a site that runs well with Java, watching the videos is difficult. So that's why we've put them to YouTube, if that's okay with everybody. That's why the video recordings are available on YouTube, because everybody should be able to access YouTube. So the video sessions are not going to be carried any further on Blackboard. They're available on YouTube. If that will work for everyone. We will see. So I'm going to go ahead, unless there are any other questions regarding the assignment. I see some people making some plans together. That's no problem at all on that. If anybody doesn't have any other questions, I'm going to go ahead and close off the recording, but I will let people, y'all can continue for a little bit. I'll keep this open until about 9 p.m. But thank you all very much. And of course, if you have any other questions, you can email me directly at my work email, kenneth.hunter@rockymountnc.gov, and I will do my best to answer them as quickly as I can. But thank you all very much, and I look forward to seeing your work coming up soon. Take care.